All right, this is James Pelton, and I'm here today with the team from Hydro Whales Club. So excited to talk through them, kind of see what's on their roadmap and what they have going on. Before we get started, I do just kind of want to welcome you guys and appreciate you guys always hopping on. Again, I always appreciate when people come on for AMAs because we can't do AMAs unless people actually show up to watch. So appreciate that. What I need you to do as we get started here is I need you to hit the like button because that tells YouTube that you like it. Go figure. But that's what makes the algorithm on YouTube show it to more people. Then I also want you to comment. Let's do, are you feeling bullish or bearish about Bitcoin right now? So we were down big yesterday. We're up big today. You know, snip, snap, snip, snap. I don't know if anybody's Office fans. But where are you at? Do you feel bullish or bearish? And lastly, before I bring on the team, I want to welcome you if you're watching the replay. You missed the live, but you got the replay. And that's second best after watching it live. So let me bring on the team here. We've got Adam and Sam. You guys want to start by just introducing yourself and give a little bit of your background? Maybe we'll start with Sam and then go with Adam.
Absolutely. Thank you very much for having us on tonight as well. We do appreciate you taking the time for this. So my name's Sam Pittman. I'm one of the co-founders of the Hydro Whales Mining Club. I'm a serial entrepreneur and an IT security expert. I've been in the IT security industry for 5+ years and hold a master's degrees in this area. Since then, I've transitioned to run several businesses alongside Adam as well. We actually run a Web3 agency doing blockchain development, which has ended up how we kind of ended up doing our transition to launching our own NFT project in the longer run.
Very cool. What about you, Adam?
Yeah, so essentially exact same as Sam. I think we had the exact same roadmap in life so far. We met at uni, did our masters in cybersecurity together, and then ventured off into our own little businesses. We started in Web 2 first, and then as the hype continued through Web 3, we decided to hop on, and it's been great so far.
Very cool. And the other Adam 2, we'll call him, just hopped on, but we'll give him a chance to get his mic, make sure it's working. We had him here. Adam number 2. How are you doing?
Very good, thank you.
Very nice to meet you. We're just doing introductions, so this is actually perfect timing. Sam introduced himself. Adam 1 introduced himself. Adam 2, would you like to introduce yourself as well?
Yeah, of course. First of all, thanks for having us on. My name's Adam Dignan. I'm one of the co-founders at Hydro Whales. And my background, I've launched many businesses, and I've been involved in crypto for, I'd say, about 3 or 4 years now. And I started off as an investor. And I've then gone on to manage funds, and we started talking about Bitcoin mining and trying to work out a way of structuring it. And that's when I was talking with Sam and Adam, and they said to me, because originally I was looking at possibilities of wrapping Bitcoin mining as a regulated entity, and then through like a regulated fund. And then the conversation come around of bringing this into an NFT, and I thought, right, this is the best way to do it. And then this is how we developed the project. So that's
very cool.
That's my side.
Awesome. Well, it is wonderful to meet you guys. Thanks for hopping on. And the first, by the way, audience, if you have questions you'd like to ask, feel free to ask. And I'll either ask them at the end, or if it fits into what we're talking about, I'll bring them up. The first thing I want to bring up too is that I'm drinking this energy drink, and it might bring up some questions. Our coffee machine is broken, so my wife has these energy drinks, so I'm drinking that. I see Sam's drinking water. That's a healthier option. But
I've got coffee right here.
Yeah, I've had my caffeine fix already.
Yes. See, it's only 4 in the afternoon here, so that's right when I need the caffeine. So, and then comments that I'm getting so far are yes, doxed. And I know nothing about these guys, but glad to see they're willing to appear on camera with real names. So that is a rarity in this day and age in DeFi. So love that you guys are doing that. Let me go ahead and share my screen. I'd like for you to just kind of talk through what the project is and kind of your vision behind it. So I don't know who wants to take that, but why'd you start this project and what's kind of the vision?
No, absolutely. So we've been on a journey for building passive income for ourselves for a number of years, ever since we started kind of our entrepreneurial kind of journey about 3-4 years ago now. And we noticed that, it is incredibly difficult for a lot of people to get into it. There's a lot to do, and I know you put out so much great content around it, especially around the crypto space, which we absolutely love. Which is where we, like Adam was saying earlier, originally looking at doing it through kind of a regulated fund, looking to launch kind of a Bitcoin mining farm. But with us being kind of heavily involved in the Web3 space in terms of the blockchain development side, it kind of combined into one idea. Like, we have the technical capabilities to launch a project in the space from which we can actually help others to generate passive income for the longer term. So our entire project is focused on educating people about passive income, helping them increase their income as well, and of course, generating them income. So our community is going to be initially powered through Bitcoin mined, which is actually going to be mined using renewable hydro electricity. So, I mean, we're sustainable with renewable energy, and it's cheaper as well. So much cheaper than standard electricity, which is great for our community in the longer run. And this sustainable cash flow is going to be coming into our community every single month. And that's what really excites us. Businesses, cash flow is the most vital thing. And with this cash flow, we're going to be able to invest as a community into a wide range of projects to purchase additional miners, to compound our monthly income every single month, so we can actually increase the payouts to our holders. And that's our overall goal, is just to boost that and build it up every single month. So all of our members are going to be rewarded through a portion of that Bitcoin mined, a portion from the community wallet, and as well as through our token, which we're currently in stages of developing and which will be released later this year. So with all the Bitcoin mining revenue that we generate is being split into 3 wallets. So we have one wallet dedicated going straight back out to holders. We have another third going straight back into our community wallet. And then we have another third going to the project development fund, which is going to cover things like the liquidity for our token, because we're focusing on generating and building a long-term and sustainable token that's going to be backed by a huge amount of liquidity, and it's going to have some great use cases in our environment as we go forward. And we do also have a little bit more of an exciting thing much down further in the longer run, is launching a massive kind of an MMORPG just further down the line. It's always been a passion of ours to do, but we'd love to be able to implement the play to earn aspect through that. So it's something we'll be doing kind of much further down the line once we have our tokens there, but it's an additional opportunity for our holders to make even more money. So we're looking to constantly expand the ways we reward our holders and give back to them. So one thing we're going to be doing is running kind of expert masterclasses for them as well. So from kind of industry experts in trading, looking at projects, kind of, trading analysis, learning the techniques for how to do it yourself. And then we actually did one for cybersecurity in the NFT crypto space. That was just a public one. So we did that last night. So that's actually on the Hydro Whales YouTube channel if you are interested. Just going over some security basics just for anyone hopping into the NFT space, because it's incredibly important. But our overall focus as the Hydro Whales Mining Club is to bring passive income to every single one of our holders. And we've already began that mission. So phase 1 is already minted out. So that's 1,000 NFTs completed and sold. So we purchased our first set of Bitcoin miners, which are expected to go live tomorrow, before we actually launch our phase 2, which is going to be on Friday.
Okay, very cool. Well, you had a list of questions, and I think you answered a big chunk of them just in your intro. So that's perfect. That makes my job easier. Maybe what I kind of want to do is maybe just as we go through the page, just ask about a few things on here. First off, just so I understand correctly, so for now, you're just minting a whale, and then you get a percentage. Basically, you use the treasury to go out, and you're investing in different things like Bitcoin mining, and then you give a percentage back to the NFT holders. Is that correct?
Yeah, absolutely. So for the first 6 months, we're going to be compounding that community wallet. So the payouts will go straight back into the community wallet just for the first 6 months, because compounding is incredibly powerful. And by having 6 months of that, it allows us to be able to have much higher kind of rewards over time by just having that initial 6-month period of just holding, which is why we are much of a longer term focused project, and we have so many plans as we go further down the years. So there's much longer term plans for this. But yeah, so initial 6 months of compounding for it. And then after that, people get a split of the Bitcoin revenue mined, as well as kind of a drawdown from that community wallet that's going to be paid out, and our token, which is in development right now.
Yeah, I think also an important point to add on this is we are a mining club, so mining is the first focus, and with the rewards and the ROIs that we're making on our community wallet, we're going to continue to purchase more miners. So we're consistently adding, because mining, the Bitcoin mining revenue is what powers everything that we're doing. So every single day we're receiving Bitcoin. So every single week, month, we've got fresh Bitcoin coming in, no matter what's happening with the market, whether the market's, you know, moving in a bullish way, bearish way, or going sideways. We are consistently receiving that sustainable income through mining every single month, and that's powering everything moving forward. And then with the ROIs that we're making with that community wallet, we're consistently adding. So in effect, what we're doing is we're creating like an infinite loop where the rewards consistently grow, the community wallet consistently grows, and that's really what's powering the whole system. Because, you know, we see so many projects out there that they rely on hype and fresh capital constantly being, you know, deployed into the project to keep it sustainable. For us, we wanted to create a sustainable project with real utility, real assets that's backing it, and that's why we've structured it through the Bitcoin mining. So we have that consistent flow of liquidity coming in every single month, and I think that's really important for us moving forward.
Yeah, no, that makes a lot of sense. Paul's asking, does it pay out in Bitcoin? So are you going to be paying out in Bitcoin, or you talked about starting your own coin, or what? How is that going to work?
So we're looking to do this through stable coins, just because obviously it's a lot more stable and there's much reduced fees. So we will know that the huge fees associated with, you know, doing any payments in Bitcoin or Ethereum. But ultimately, we are letting the community decide. So we have the ability to use either or. So we could even have a combination. So the Bitcoin mining revenue is paid out through Bitcoin itself. Like that's just comes straight from that wallet. And the community wallet, that can be converted into stable coins. So then we can do payouts through that. So ultimately, the community is going to be able to decide on that. So we'll be giving kind of information around fees, kind of pros and cons to both. Like, you know, if there's a sudden kind of market drops 20% and we've just converted everything to do a payout, that's 20% wiped off. Whereas if we had it in a stable coin, you know, it's kind of constantly stable and things like that. So we'll be listing that out for all of our holders to take a vote on as we get nearer the time for payouts.
Okay, appreciate that. Yeah, and when I pull up a comment, I'm going to have to switch to this view. Otherwise, Adam's face is covered. And, we don't want that. Absolutely not. Okay, very cool. Can you tell me a bit about this legal audit? I think that was kind of a unique thing that you don't see on a lot of projects. So can you tell me about what went into that and what exactly that means?
Yeah, I mean,
absolutely.
Sorry, Sam, go on.
No, you can go ahead.
So for me, or for us as a team, we understand the environment that we're in, okay? And it's not, you know, we're seeing so many rug pulls. I mean, we're investors as well, so it's nothing worse than investing into projects. You don't have any transparency. There's no real legal sort of structure to it, and of course, you know, this space that we're in is an unregulated space, and you have you know, a lot of undoxed teams and things like this, and it makes it very difficult. So for us, we wanted to build as much transparency as possible. We wanted to fully dox, and then we wanted to go ahead and seek legal advice so we could get legal opinion and to demonstrate the compliance that we're putting together. And I thought that, you know, we thought as a team that that's the best way that we can demonstrate, you know, of what we're doing and to build that the trust, obviously, with our community at this stage. So we went ahead, instructed a legal team that specializes in crypto. And another point that we wanted that pushed us into this as well was the mining company that we're using. We have a pretty tight NDA with them, and we didn't want to be, hiding behind the NDAs. So we've gone and done as much as we can to be compliant with the NDA and have all of the contracts audited and have everything verified, so we can demonstrate that and be, as transparent as we can be.
Yeah, no, very cool. I do appreciate that. And I appreciate that in this space, just with how things are right now. So I think that's very, I can tell that you're in the space and that you kind of know the feeling and you kind of know, hey, if we put out an NFT collection with no doxing, no audit or anything, nobody's going to buy it. That's where we're at right now. Can I ask you, well, let's go down. I want to go through a couple more things on the website. These numbers, can you talk about a little bit about how people can be thinking? A lot of times people want, I'm the spreadsheet guy. And so they're wanting, what are my returns going to be? And it's a little bit harder in a project like this to kind of get a feel for, hey, I'm minting for 0.115 Ethereum. When am I going to see return on that investment? Do you guys want to just talk through maybe this part particularly?
Yeah, no, absolutely. So like I said earlier, the initial 6 months after this kind of projects, after the phase is completed, we're going to be compounding everything in that community wallet. So that Bitcoin mining revenue is going to be going to the community wallet and going into investments, which we can compound every single month. And with that, there's a lot we can do with that through investing into kind of other NFT projects, DeFi projects. We even have the potential of doing our own launchpad. Like I said, we have, myself and Adam are very technical. We have a technical team, so we run a Web3 agency. So we have 11 people in the UK at our agency. So we have a lot more capabilities we can kind of rely on as well. But our main focus is just growing that kind of wallet to a really reasonable size over the kind of initial 6 months before we can actually start to draw down and start beginning payments from that. So year one, people are still looking at getting kind of nearly 3 times what your kind of initial investment is from phase one back to them. So that's going to come through monthly payments. So as soon as we start those payments, they're all going to be paid monthly. That's going to be coming from the Bitcoin mining revenue, so a portion from that, and then it's going to be a portion from community wallet, which is going to be obviously from the investments we're doing. So we've reinvested into EMP as an example. So we did that even prior to kind of minting out phase one, just because we wanted to show people, and I know these are the kind of returns we'll be expecting, we're looking to get, we're striving for every single month. And we're looking for really well presented projects with solid teams. We're not looking for degen projects, essentially. We're not looking to kind of risk it. We're looking for long-term sustainable projects similar to ours. So that's our key focus, is just to be kind of play it safe, but grow this to a very nice size and get everyone really rewarded for this. And on top of these holder payouts, we will also have opportunities for our holders to get into these other projects early. So we're working on negotiating kind of deals where we can have our holders get in at a discounted price similar to us, because we're going to be incredibly favorable once we have a large enough community wallet. These projects are going to be very much interested in doing what we're doing. So on top of just sitting back and taking the passive income, our holders could also get in early as well at the reduced rates and then kind of increase their returns even further by doing that. And that's why we think it's really important for us to be able to run all the educational masterclasses we're going to be doing kind of as a holder benefit. So we're going to be getting industry experts to come in, talk to our holders kind of once a month, just go through, what's going on right now, what to look for in projects, and here's how you do Bitcoin trading. Here's the basics of it. Here's how you can watch the market, how you know what's going to go on. So we're all about educating our holders and bringing them the passive income, as well as more opportunities to invest into other projects.
Very cool. Could you talk a little bit? So you mentioned EMP. Can you talk more just about which other projects you're looking at or you are in talks with the Treasury?
Well, first of all, I love EMP, and I was even talking to the team earlier and saying maybe doubling down on EMP, because there's not, at the minute, Sam touched on this, saying, we are being selective and we do have a very thorough vetting process before going in with the community wallet. Obviously, we built a relationship up with AJ. I've been talking with AJ regularly for the last few months. We announced the partnership with them, and I'm a great believer in investing into teams and people, and I really love what AJ's doing over there in the team at EMP. We are in talks with some other projects, and we're in talks with various different entities at the minute, but it's a little bit early to start announcing them. But like Sam said, I mean, the view of this and the community wallet is I think really where it gets exciting, because number one, yes, we're hopefully going to make a decent ROI with that community wallet, which is great for the whole community. But what we want to do is we want to bring really cool projects to the community as well, because Hydro Whales will invest as a community through our mining revenue. But if we can negotiate early stage access or get, projects, as an investor, right? How many times, especially when I go back to when I was first looking, and I'd see projects or tokens and coins that had gone crazy, and I thought, oh, how did everyone find out about this project? And I always felt like I was late, when you're looking around and you're seeing things happening. But we want to create an environment where we are regularly looking and we're bringing cool projects in, and we're not deciding 100% on what we invest into. We are bringing them to the table and then allowing this to be a community investment, a community decision. But just know that when we bring a project to the table, it's been thoroughly vetted. Our legal team have gone through it as well, audits and everything. So, we want to be safe as well. It's not just about throwing money at anything that's catching a bit of momentum. So yeah, we're actively looking all the time and having discussions with lots of different projects.
Very cool. Well, I want to throw in a quick plug for EMP because they are just launching Ethereum staking. It's going to be open to the public here in the next couple of days, and it's going to be 100% APY on straight Ethereum staking. So that's pretty revolutionary. So if you haven't checked out EMP Money, go check them out. And I like that. And people sometimes don't realize that you'll have opportunities with a big community wallet that they might not have, as if they're going to put $1,000 into something, you might have access putting $20,000 into something that they don't have access to putting in $1,000. And like there's might be some over-the-counter deals and things like that where you can actually get a discount and get a better deal. So it sounds like you sound like you're going the direction that I would like to see as well. And then the last thing I was kind of wondering about, do you want to talk a little bit? I know this is in the far future, but do you want to talk a little bit about the MMORPG? Some people might not know what that is. But do you want to talk a little bit about that and kind of your plans for that?
Yeah, absolutely. So MMORPG is a massive multiplayer online role-playing game. So I mean, I know when we had the time to play lots of games, we were kind of all heavily involved in them, kind of big fans of them since a very, very young age. And there's not much kind of taking advantage of the Web3 aspect and the ability to have kind of a real world economy within it, using kind of play to earn functionality with our own tokenomics added into that. Because we know how many hours some people will put into games like this. There's the real opportunity where you could be kind of replacing your salary by playing a game like this. And there's going to be so many different things we can do with it. So we've kind of got a lot of inspiration. So Anderson, he's one of our other co-founders. So he's an incredibly talented artist. So he's been doing game art for the 10 plus years, as well for kind of various game studios. We're doing kind of great game art for them as well. So we've got connections in the teams already kind of lined up, preparing. We're already having a few talks, like looking where we can take this. So it's kind of going to be kind of, kind of a World of Warcraft, kind of RuneScape, kind of those kind of games inspired kind of MMORPG. But we do want this to be community led as well. So we're going to be kind of having a lot of meetings around this, having some brainstorming sessions about how we can take this and make sure it's going to be an enjoyable experience for our holders to get into. And of course, other people will have the opportunity to get in, but they'll just be needing to purchase our token essentially to be able to get in and get membership, kind of membership essentially into the game over time. But like I said, this is going to be a much longer term thing we're going to be working on for the foreseeable future.
Very cool. Very cool. Then we had a question. Will there always be 10,000 members to split the rewards amongst, or how many total NFTs are there? And how does that split work?
Yeah, so it's 9,999 NFTs. So it's always going to be split between them. We're not looking to launch another collection or anything like that. So these holders, however many holders it is or how many NFTs it is, that's what everything's going to be split between. So dividing the mining revenue, community wallet payouts, and of course the token as well when it comes to it.
Okay, very cool. And then, so you guys launched kind of a phase 1, right? Can you explain phase 1 and phase 2, and how did the initial mint kind of go, and how are things looking right now?
Yeah, no, absolutely. So phase 1 is, I'd say, our kind of our proof of concept to like prove to people we mean business. We know what we're doing, and I mean it was an upward hill battle to get people onto it, but we succeeded. It was just about 3.5 weeks of kind of minted from kind of the mint started for us to have this completed. And since then, we've ordered our first set of miners, which are actually expected to be switched on tomorrow. So we know that can help build up a bit more kind of FOMO, kind of get more drive, like, you know what, we're being serious about that. We've actually had our legal firm do another audit for us and write a legal statement confirming that everything has been purchased. Everything's been reviewed by them again as well. So that's actually in our Discord. So we have our audit channel on there, which is just discord.gg/HydroWhales if you're interested in checking it out. But you can see the latest audit on there just saying that miners are ordered, and they should be going live tomorrow as well, which we're expecting them to. So I know that's a super exciting moment for us in the community. And from there, we're going to be looking to launch phase 2 on Friday. So we should have the miners up and running just before that as well, before we start building up even more. So phase 1 was just 1,000 NFTs. And now phase 2, we're looking at launching 2,000 NFTs. So in phase 1, we purchased 25 miners. So we're looking to increase that in phase 2 with some other kind of benefits. We're going to have some kind of competition prizes for holders as well. Getting some kind of more metaverse characters that have our whales metaverse ready as well, for all of our holders just to enjoy as well, just as a little added benefit. But from kind of there, we're going to be scaling that up pretty quickly. So we're trying to look to close all of our phases in kind of a 4 to 6 week period, really.
Can I ask which Bitcoin miner you're buying?
Yeah, so we're going for the S19 Pros.
Okay. Did you consider Kadena mining?
Yes, absolutely. So it's still on the cards in the future. So we're not going to be stuck to Bitcoin mining in the long run. So we're going to have the option to diversify our community's passive income streams. So absolutely, we're going to be looking into other coins, and we can get more miners to get kind of more cash flow coming in from a different stream. So then we're protected. So it's not just one currency we'll be mining.
Very cool. Yeah, I have my KD5s and my KD6s going here, and I had to just move them to the garage because my house was getting up to 85 degrees, 90 degrees Fahrenheit. I don't know what it is, Celsius, sorry. But it was getting really hot from those. So, and by the way, so in the comments, getting a lot of suggestions on do this with the wallet, do this with the wallet, do this with the treasury. And that's one of the advantages of this project. Go hop in the Discord, mint a whale, hop in the Discord, and you can, like, people are talking about doing a DAG node and things like that. There's an infinite number of places you could put money. So if you have big opinions on that, you can mint a whale, hop in the Discord, and put your vote in. Say, hey, I think we should do a DAG node.
Absolutely. We've got an investment suggestions channel. So people are more than welcome to add any suggestions. So we add them to our list of reviews. We go through them, discuss them, and if they're going to be viable, we present them to our legal team, have things checked out, and if all good, we can say, look to the community, what do you think of this? And then we can start putting some votes out around it.
Yeah, I think that's the whole main point of our project, is really the community wallet and getting the community to decide and pick what we're going to invest into in the future, and essentially grow as a community as we go. It's a really long-term project.
So yeah, if phase 1 or phase 2 is coming out soon, so can people mint right now? Like if people just go to the website and click mint now, does that work? Should they be waiting, or the people who are watching, if they want to get involved, what should they do?
So right now, so obviously phase one's minted out. So no new kind of minting can take place until Friday. So it's 6 p.m. UK time, which is 1 p.m. EST, before phase two is going to be released. And each NFT is going to be costing $400. So our actual NFT value in Ethereum is pegged to kind of USD. So it's going to be changing according to that value, just because we are purchasing, real world assets, we're purchasing miners. So obviously we need to make sure we have that capital to be able to do that, which is why our value is pegged to 400 USDs.
Okay, very cool. So if you're watching this and you want to get involved, you like them, you like what they're doing, then hop in the Discord for now and set a timer or an alarm for Friday at 12 p.m. Central Time, because the world revolves around Lincoln, Nebraska. And be ready to mint then. And is there a limit to how much people can mint, or is there a wallet max or anything like that?
So yeah, there is a max, a 10 limit, a max, but we do have a whale system. So if people do want to mint more than 10, they can get verified, and we can allow them to mint more than 10.
Okay, and you can also create 1,000 wallets. So that's one thing that I do, is I have 1,000 wallets going. So very cool. Well, does anybody in the audience have any questions? Anything that they'd like more clarification on? Cost to mint phase two is $400. So you guys answered that. I guess people are kind of wanting to know what's the main difference between phase one and phase two. People like to know that they're not missing out on something by going later or earlier. So what's the biggest difference from phase one to phase two?
So phase one holders essentially acts as kind of a whitelist pass to all of the future phases, giving you kind of the phase one pricing. So you get your prices locked in at $350. So if you're desperate to get in now, you can purchase them off OpenSea as well and get that benefit. But other than that, all payouts are the same for every single NFT. So there's no difference between phase one, phase two, phase three, or phase four. The only difference is that the cost is going to be increasing as we go through the phases. Just because I know we're going to be building up a lot more traction, and it's going to allow us to purchase even more miners. So we're looking to try and beat the number we've set of number of miners we're going for, because you know what, we might as well. We're very bullish. We want to try and beat all of our projections, and that's our goal, is to make all of our holders to be a whale in the crypto space.
And bear in mind, the community wallet has already started before we even finished phase one. So that's already kicked off. So we're definitely going to have more miners in by the end than first anticipated.
Okay, very cool. And I'll post a link to this. This is these are your whales, and a floor price is 0.184. So that's always good when you see a floor price over the minting price. That's what you want to see in projects like this. Yeah, floor price under minting price is never a good sign, but I'll post a link to that. You can go buy off OpenSea if you don't want to wait until Friday. So very cool. And then Johannes wants to know, in which rhythm are payouts going to be distributed? Daily, weekly, monthly? How's that going to work?
So they're going to be paid out monthly after 6 months of the initial compounding.
Okay. Very cool. And then somebody asked, I'm having a hard time finding the comment, but I remember what it was. Oh, how much of the income goes to the founders? Do you want to talk a little bit about?
Yeah, of course. So we as founders are going to be holding whales ourselves. So that's why we're very bullish on beating those projections. We do also have our project development wallet. So that can be used to cover our costs for time for working on the project if we're doing any development work on it as well. But our main goal is to be very bullish on making those projections and beating those projections even further. So that's where our real kind of reward comes from.
Yeah, very cool. And then people are kind of asking about cash flow. So I'm just going to refer back to this. These are kind of some of the projections. Obviously, the further out you get, the more it's just a guess. I mean, we don't know. But I think these numbers are kind of, Johannes, these are kind of the numbers that you can maybe be looking at in the future.
Yeah. One thing, just to touch on the revenue there and trying to project, the projections. You've got to understand we're factoring lots of different things here. We've got Bitcoin, which is, which we're mining and pumping the whole system off from there. That price obviously is moving. Then we have the community wallet. What's the ROI that we're seeing on the community wallet? and then the rate of compounding them miners, and obviously, you know, there's so many different variables which can determine the USD value, right? So we're doing projections based on, you know, different variables and trying to keep conservative. But one thing that you know, I think is really important to know, whatever we are doing in this project, every single step we take is to continually increase in value all the time. So this infinite loop that we're creating by compounding the community wallet, getting an ROI, we're purchasing more miners, the rewards are getting bigger every month, the community wallet is going out with more money every month, we're purchasing more money, you know, and it just continues and continues like that. So everything we're doing is geared up for growth. So we're 100% committed on that, and this is a long-term project with sustainable, you know, a sustainable, powerful asset like Bitcoin, which is powering the whole project.
Very cool. And then what's the goal for total number of miners owned?
There is no cap. There is no cap. Our total goal was 200 miners to kickstart off from originally minting out. But like we just touched on there, we think we're gonna probably be a fair bit over that by the time we're at 100% minted. So, and then like I said, every single month we continue to add. We continue to add to that. So that's consistently growing.
Okay, cool. And Adam 1, I think you're on mute, but you might have something to say.
Yeah, I was just saying through the 6-month period, we're going to be compounding that money and buying more miners as well. So it's going to be well over 200 by the end of that.
Okay.
And of course, we will be venturing into some other coins as well. So lots of different ones we'll be venturing out into.
Very cool. Then JB wants to know, is there a multi-sig?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, there's a multi-sig setup.
Okay, and is there a third-party signer?
Yes.
Okay, so you can't just do whatever you want with the treasury. That's usually a good thing. And then actually, here's a really good question that maybe we took for granted. What exactly do miners do? Does somebody want to give a TLDR of what mining is, just for people who aren't familiar?
What's the easy way to discuss this? I don't know if Sam can bring up something easy to say.
So I think the easiest way to say is essentially there'll be computer systems essentially solving equations and kind of for that, just so they can actually register transactions in that, and then you get rewarded in Bitcoin by the network for doing that. I think that's the simplest way of kind of talking about it.
It's securing the blockchain. It's securing the blockchain,
yes,
and verifying proof of work. You know.
Yeah. So there's two types of chains. There's proof of work and proof of stake. And so in proof of work chains like Bitcoin, you basically have these these miners are just big computers that are just built. They're ASIC miners, I assume, that are just built for one thing, which is validating transactions on the Bitcoin blockchain. And so they're just doing that as fast as they can and validating. And then Bitcoin gives a reward to the validators. And your computer could be a validator also, but it'd be so slow, it wouldn't make any Bitcoin. It wouldn't make it worth it. So these ASIC miners that are built specifically for this one algorithm, most of them can't do anything else except for this one algorithm. But then you get a reward for it. So they're basically what make the Bitcoin blockchain run, is kind of the easy way to sum it up. But practically, they're a computer about this big that are kind of noisy and get kind of hot. And that's
those computers. And I think the more on the chain as well, secure it even further, because when a transaction is made, more than, I think it's 25 or 30 of those machines have to verify that one transaction. And then for doing that verification, then the Bitcoin's paid out to the miners, essentially.
Yes. And you can read more into it. It's a very crazy thing. I remember I told my parents, I told them, oh yeah, I have some miners in the basement. And my dad envisioned somebody with a pickaxe. Little people with pickaxes in the basement. So then kind of on the other side of things, so we have what exactly do miners do? On the other side, a question on the other side of knowledge about that, are we pooling the miners in a pool, or are you starting your own Bitcoin pool?
No, we're joining a pool. We're joining an existing pool.
Okay, very cool. And then some of these questions, if I don't answer your question in the comments, it's probably because we answered it earlier in the AMA. So do go back and watch the replay if you're really interested in this. I'll ask this one again, but what coin are rewards paid out in?
Yeah, so thank you very much for that question. So we're going to be essentially allowing our community to decide as soon as we get closer to the payouts. So we have the options of paying out from the Bitcoin mining revenue itself, either in Bitcoin or in a stable coin. And then similarly to the community wallet investments, we have the option to convert that into a stable coin or another token or something like that, or we can pay out in kind of Ethereum or Bitcoin. But there's downsides, there's pros and cons to both essentially. So this is going to be something we're going to be giving our holders all the information upon. So for example, if we used a stable coin, obviously there's a lot more stability to it. So when you're dealing with hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of crypto, if we were about to withdraw that and pay that out to holders, if Ethereum or Bitcoin has a 15% dip, all of a sudden that's a lot of kind of rewards wiped off. Whereas having a stable coin, we have the lower fees for transactions and we're not going to be affected in that way. But yeah, so it's going to be up to the community to decide, but most community members are looking and pushing for a stable coin.
Okay, very cool. Well, does anybody else have any other questions? We had somebody ask, what's Multisig? I think maybe Multisig. We talked about earlier, but basically it's just if they're gonna have this huge treasury, and I mean we have all their names and they're all doxed, so they couldn't really do this. But in some projects, if they're not doxed, especially, there's nothing really stopping them from just taking the treasury and then moving to Bermuda or wherever and taking the treasury with them. So multi-sig is basically just several people have to sign off on transactions before they happen. So, and a lot of times they'll bring in people from outside the community. So it's just a way to secure the treasury a little bit. But it's less important if you're doxed, because if you run off with the treasury, we'll just come after you, like that's what we'll do. So could you explain, just in your mind, how rewards are impacted should Bitcoin price go down?
So absolutely. Well, one thing I love about mining Bitcoin is if we're mining at, let's say, it drops down to $30,000 and we just keep mining and mining, and we're holding that Bitcoin. In 6 months' time, if Bitcoin shoots up to $100,000 and we still have that Bitcoin, it's like we've been mining Bitcoin at $100,000 for the last 6 months. And not only that, that the hash rate is likely to increase as well because of like a lower demand, which means we can actually mine even more Bitcoin. And I mean, most of the crypto market itself is kind of pegged to Bitcoin anyway. So if Bitcoin goes down, everything's going to go down. But once we get to the stage, we reach kind of the late kind of December phase, December, January, when Bitcoin normally starts kind of going on a bull run. All of our investments itself are going to be growing rapidly alongside that as well. So it's like we've been mining Bitcoin at that much higher rate the entire time, and similarly to our investments. So we don't see any major effect unless Bitcoin suddenly becomes completely worthless. But I don't think that's ever going to happen in a million years.
That's a great question, because it really is, because the price obviously is fluctuating a lot, and we're giving out monthly projections and monthly revenue, and that will take an effect. The price moving on Bitcoin will affect the monthly payouts. But what we can, like Sam touched on there, is, again, this is a community vote, and if the markets are low and we can compound more, this is times when markets are taking a dip is when you want to really grow your bags and not sell so much, and obviously when the market decides to rally and you're seeing bullish momentum and that's when profits are taken. And I think what Sam was touching on there was, when you're mining Bitcoin, for example, if we are paying out the rewards, the direct mining rewards in Bitcoin, that can be it's only US dollar when you convert, right? So if you are stacking your Satoshis, your Bitcoin, and when the price does reach the heights of 100K and beyond, if you was to execute, then it's like everything was mined at 100K, right? So it's like you mined a year's worth at that price. So that's the good thing about mining an asset like Bitcoin. We know that the markets move in cycles, and so yeah, again, it's everything is community led as well. So we don't take overriding decisions and decide this or that. We'll give the options and what we can do. Market conditions are, if the market conditions are down, these are the options here, and the community decide together. We're in this together. So
yeah, and in some ways, something like this will be helpful for people. So if you're not particularly good at trading, a lot of times people are emotional. This is a Bitcoin chart, and so in my theory, in my projection, we've been in a bear market since November 7th, which is the last time we hit all-time highs. But if you're not particularly good at trading, like you're too emotional and you tend to sell when it goes down and you buy when it's way up, then a project like this will be helpful because these guys are experienced traders, and so they can help you get over that. Whereas if you had Bitcoin, you might be like, oh, I'm selling down here. And they would know, no, don't sell. Compound when you're down here and then wait till it's up here. And this is where you should be selling. And that's kind of, Johannes says that too. As your main investment is Bitcoin, do you regularly analyze, or do you also welcome members to help you analyze? I would welcome this thinking as a community.
We welcome all input from the community. We also do and make our own analysis on Bitcoin because it's the leader of the crypto market. But not everything is all focused on BTC. Even though BTC powers everything, we chose that because it's such a powerful asset. We chose it because of the safety of aspect of that. We're mining the biggest cryptocurrency asset out there. And that gives us confidence that that's going to power out everything we do moving forward. But what really excites me, because Bitcoin mining, where you're at with Bitcoin mining, but what excites me is the community wallet. That's where we can see, significant ROIs. And that's where we can then compound more into the mining and steady it up, and then, distribute rewards from there as well. So, to answer the question, Bitcoin powers it, but it's not everything.
Okay. And then this is a good question. During the first 6 months, will rewards be set aside, or is that all compounded?
So that's all going to be compounded. So obviously, the more funds there are in that community wallet, the more compounding, the more the power of compound is going to take effect. And I know you've seen, if you've watched some of James Pelton's videos before, going through the power of compounding to build up your passive income or build up those investments by compounding, especially taking 6 months to compound with a large amount of cash flow going into that every single month, which is also going to continue. We still have cash coming into that even after we've finished that initial 6 months. That's going to give a huge boost to increase the size of our treasury and give us a lot more power in the crypto space. So essentially, we are becoming a whale in this space as a community with our wallet size. And our goal is to make all of our holders crypto whales in the longer term.
Yeah, no, and I think that makes a lot of sense, especially compounding in the beginning. And since you're limiting to the 9,999, it's not like a lot of these other node projects where, oh, in 6 months though, there might not be anything left. I mean, you're capping it, and that's going to be, hey, we have these 10,000 people, we have this treasury, and we have these Bitcoin miners, and compounding that will get that treasury at a nice size rather than just giving out rewards right away. So I think that's smart. Let's see, are there different type of NFTs, or is it just one NFT? They're all built equally when you mint. There's no there's obviously random characteristics, but it's not like one is getting this return, one's getting a different return.
Yeah, so every NFT gets the same rewards. There's no differentiation between that. So it's not like if you mint in phase 4, you get 50% of the reward. No, every single NFT is going to be given the same reward.
Okay, awesome. And you have a lot of people in the audience who are answering the questions as people ask them. So that's good. Good to see a good community. Maybe we'll close with this one, unless some other really good ones come in. But just your thoughts. How confident are you that by year 5, each NFT holder will be earning projected 100K of passive income. What gives you this confidence? So obviously it's not something you can know 100%, but I don't know. How do you think through that? About how confident are you about something like that?
Well,
Yeah.
let me ask one. Just sorry, I'll let you finish this, Sam. But one question: what do you think the price of Bitcoin, Victor, will be in 5 years' time? First of all, start putting yourself 5 years down the line, because the potential is there, right? The price of Bitcoin could be incredibly explosive from now in 5 years' time, and then of course, why we're so confident is we are so committed to this long-term project. What we're looking at in terms of with the community wallet, the numbers when you work the compounding effect out over a long period of time, it does get pretty interesting. And like I said, we are super committed to this. But Sam, obviously, I think you've got a few things you'd like to add to that.
Yeah, no, definitely. I mean, I think what is the crypto space going to be like in 5 years' time? It's going to likely become a lot more regulated, widely accepted by governments and countries. Like, as a Web3 agency, we get a lot more corporate clients coming in to discuss Web3 based projects, crypto based projects, working on the blockchain now. So you've got to think, in 5 years' time, will most companies have adopted using the blockchain for something like you can automate major parts of your business with a blockchain using that? So there's so many different benefits to using the blockchain. And I think as businesses, governments, and countries discover all of that, I think the value of cryptocurrencies themselves are going to be skyrocketing as their usage is going to continue. Like, you see the adoption still very, very small right now. So I still say we're still very early to the crypto market, and it's still early to get in. And in 5 years' time, I think it's going to be skyrocketed with governments, countries just using it day to day, even having their own stable coins as a country. It's going to be a new form of transacting with everybody, and we're really excited to see that.
Yeah, absolutely. And I was looking, oh, whoops, wrong view. I was looking the price of Bitcoin 5 years ago. If you go to May 4th, 2017, it was at $1,500 for a Bitcoin 5 years ago. So you fast forward 5 years, and even with Bitcoin being, 40% down from all-time highs, we're still, 20x where we were 5 years ago. So another thing that makes me really bullish about Bitcoin going forward is that I was reading 60% of Bitcoin holders have never sold at all. And that number just keeps going up. So the Bitcoin that is being sold during times like this is being bought up by people who believe in Bitcoin long term and aren't going to sell. So I think that's good for the long term of Bitcoin. And you guys are, kind of spreading out. If you're into EMP.money, well, that's Ethereum, so that's, even if Bitcoin is kind of struggling, let's say Ethereum passes Bitcoin, well, you have Ethereum exposure there too. So very cool.
We have plans once we're fully minted out and our community wallet is moving at pace. We will be looking to implement like a launchpad program with new projects. We will be able to give them that platform as well to launch, obviously having liquidity behind us, community behind us. And that's an element that we're looking at. But again, we've got so many plans to keep going. It's not like, a quick, let's mint this out and let's have a go. We've got a real long-term vision with this, and are super committed to taking this all the way.
All right, very cool. Well, hey, I think that's a good ending spot for us. I think you answered all the questions. So again, just to reiterate, if you're watching this and you want to get involved, Friday, May 6th at 12 p.m. Central Time, 1 p.m. Eastern Time, or some later time in UTC, 7 p.m. UTC. Is that right? 6 p.m.? Some other time.
Yeah.
Yes. But that's when minting of phase 2 will open back up. And then you can mint. It's going to be $400 per whale. And then that's how you can get in. So for now, if you want to just hop in the Discord and set an alarm for that day, follow them on Twitter. And I'll post the link to their Discord and to their Twitter in here also. Is there any final words that you'd like to give to the audience?
I just think we want to thank everyone for their time, for listening to us, for any questions you sent through. And I think we hope to see you as a whale with us, because we'd love to be part of everyone's crypto journey and part of their journey to building up their passive income streams. And we're looking forward to making all of our holders big fat whales in the crypto space.
Awesome. Well, hey, thank you guys very much. I appreciate you being here. And as always, audience, I appreciate you guys coming. I think we had 400 some unique people come during this. So that's awesome just for people to hop on live, ask your questions. Again, sometimes you guys are curious about different things I am. I would have never thought to ask, what is Bitcoin mining? You know, it's just something that I take for granted. So appreciate you guys and your questions. So good luck to you. Reach out if there's anything I can do to help. And I hope everybody has a good rest of their day.
Thank you very much.
All right. Take care, everybody.